What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading. Today, I want to take a look at the biggest mistake that crypto traders make. This is a mistake that I don't think most people are aware that they're doing. It's a mistake that I see absolutely everywhere, even among the best crypto traders. It's a mistake that even I make sometimes, of course. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. Before we get started, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of the market. Your analysis could be different, and if it is, that's awesome, because the more difference of opinion that we have, the better traders and the better investors we're all going to become. So I want to start, guys, by taking a step back and reminding everyone why technical analysis works in the first place. For those of you who don't know, there was this Japanese rice merchant named Hanma Munehisa. I think he was starting to trade rice sometime in the 1600s. But basically, a few hundred years ago, this guy was the one who discovered technical analysis. He basically was the one who created these candlestick patterns and identified, or rather created the candlestick charts, let's say, and identified all the patterns in them. And basically what he found was that human emotions of, like, especially of fear and greed, they follow fairly predictable cycles. And he basically outlined all these earliest patterns with these candlesticks, which, as a fun fact, were actually drawn by hand. And he would have his servants or whatever going around and collecting rice prices from different cities and whatever. And then he would chart it down by hand. He would draw these candles based on the price changes over each day and each month and whatever. But anyways, the key takeaway though is that the reason why technical analysis works is because you're fundamentally measuring human emotions of fear and greed, and these emotions follow predictable patterns. But again, when you're trading and you're looking at the charts and doing your technical analysis, you're assuming that all the price action is related to human emotions, but this is not true, especially when it comes to crypto. And the main kind of a confounding factor, let's say, in crypto is leverage. Whenever there's a long liquidation, then you see prices collapse, or you see a short squeeze and you see prices rally. This is price action that is, you could make the argument that it's artificial. It has no emotions attached to it. It's purely mechanical, and the emotions only come kind of after the fact. Like, for example, when there's a long liquidation, you see prices fall more than you expect. This causes people to panic, and maybe it causes prices to fall lower. But that initial drop is not driven by emotion. That initial drop is driven by a long liquidation. Same thing for a short squeeze. Sometimes people will be looking at a target, then it goes above that target, and then prices just go, explode higher. It's not people necessarily aping into that price action. It's shorts being liquidated and driving that price higher. And again, especially in crypto, there's a lot of leverage and a lot of things like this. And never mind all the manipulation, but especially the leverage. This causes prices to go above and below key levels and really messes up analysis. And especially if you're someone who's watching a level or doing trading, you're going long or short, and you're saying, I'm going to put my stop loss at this level, and then that level gets violated. And that happens all the time. Not just because of exchange and market maker manipulation, but also because you get these huge long liquidations and short squeezes that cause temporary deviations above and below these key levels, which again, if it was purely based on human emotion, then technical analysis, I think, would work a lot better. And as a fun fact, the reason I think why technical analysis works so well in crypto compared to other asset classes is because there's a lot more emotion involved in crypto compared to something like stocks, right? Especially when you're trading altcoins or something. But I mean, even with altcoins, there's lots of leverage and stuff like that. But the point is that I think the reason why so many people trade crypto and why crypto trading is kind of I haven't actually run the math on this, but I'm pretty sure that trading crypto, especially during bull markets, is way easier than trading during basically any other asset class during any other bull or bear market, simply because there's way more raw emotions involved, and that makes technical analysis way more accurate. And again, this is something that most people, when they go into trading, they don't think about why does this work. They don't think about what are the why do these patterns repeat. They don't think about that stuff. They're just looking at the charts and saying, okay, I learned these patterns, I learned this these indicators and whatever, and I'm just going to go and dive into it. But it's but wait a minute, the whole reason why those indicators and patterns work is because you're assuming that all the price action is being driven by human emotion. But again, this is not the case, especially when we get into these extreme scenarios. A lot of the price action is driven by short squeezes or long liquidations, especially in crypto. And the really interesting thing, guys, is that this is not necessarily limited to the crypto market. Of course, we can also see huge liquidations in stocks and whatever when there's these crazy tail events. But for the sake of simplicity, let's just stick to crypto. And this brings me to the Bitcoin chart. And just as a heads up, I am filming this a little bit in advance, so maybe the price action here will be looking a little bit different. By the time you see it, it'll be in a few days' time. But basically, I'm filming this on Tuesday, and of course, I'm sure as many of you have heard, around this time, or let's say by this point, it would have been around a week back, there was basically every single trader that I saw on social media, in our Discord, everywhere was looking at this channel or something along these lines, right? We're looking at Bitcoin on the daily, right? And they saw Bitcoin fall below this trend line, and they said, okay, this means that Bitcoin has fallen out of the trend line and is going to see some massive collapse and whatever. But the thing is that they're drawing this trend line, and again, bear with me, I'm going to draw this in real time here. They're assuming that basically that this trend line is accurate, and they're basing that based on this price action that happened back here. But the thing is that what was this price action that happened back here? This was the Liberation Day tariffs and basically the insane amounts of liquidations that we saw around early April and even like into the middle of April. All of this was just like liquidations and uncertainty. And of course, again, the liquidations come first and the emotions come later. So yeah, some of this price action is driven by emotion, but most of this price action was driven by like automated selling basically from long liquidations. Which, and this is where, some people might like gasp and be like, oh, how dare you? Like, how could you possibly suggest this? But I'm going to delete these trend lines here, and I'm going to draw a new one, and I'm going to tell you what I think the actual trend line is, and you might be a little bit shocked. So, of course, we're going to have to wait and see if this actually plays out. Maybe this has been completely violated by Saturday. Maybe Bitcoin keeps moving lower. But when everyone was panicking, when that initial trend line was broken, I was looking at this and I'm like, I don't think that anything has been violated yet. And again, could it be violated by the time you see this video? Maybe. But again, the point is that I truly believe, and feel free to disagree in the comments, this whole thing here was just leverage and liquidations and like just crazy stuff. Like basically, this was an abnormal anomaly, something that should not have happened. You can always say like, oh well, that's not really an argument. But again, all of this was just leverage, 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 leverage. This was not emotion. This was emotion. This was emotion. This was emotion. And of course, even within these things, all these little wicks you see here, all those wicks are basically long liquidations, short squeezes, usually like stuff like that, right? Which is why when I do my technical analysis, I don't pay too much attention to these wicks. I know, again, in normal technical analysis, you're supposed to pay attention to these wicks. But again, if those wicks are being driven by something that is unemotional, then is it like it's arguably not appropriate to use technical analysis on that price action because you're dealing with something that is automated and not driven by human emotion. Again, feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but this is the way that I see things. And again, it's a mistake that I make often as well because I have to also remember it's like, wait a minute, what caused that price action in the past? And something that's really easy to forget the further back in time you go, like, you'll be drawing some super long-term trend line, but then you forget that, wait a minute, that the starting point of that trend line or most of that earlier move could have been something that that did not involve a human emotion at all. But anyways, point being is that I truly believe that the actual trend line here that is more accurate is this one. Okay. And again, like I'm not drawing it on the wicks because I don't think that the wicks are accurately or like an accurate representation, let's say, of the price action because of the liquidations and everything. But the point is that you could make the case that if there was not this like huge leverage liquidation driven move because of Trump's tariffs in early April, then we would have seen prices continue to hug this trend line and it would have continued grinding higher basically since that let's say early March low. And again, feel free to disagree in the comments, but this is again like what I see, and again, and I'll redraw it just so you guys can see. Maybe I'll just throw it on top here. That other trend line that like basically everyone else is watching, and they're looking at this trend line here, and they're like, oh my god, this trend line is broken, so Bitcoin is over. And again, like, could Bitcoin be lower by the time you see this video? Maybe, but I strongly believe, and I continue to believe, that the actual trend line that everyone should have been watching is this one, and you can see it's holding, and you can see it's actually done a pretty good job of kind of like forecasting price action over the last few months, arguably even better than that trend line that everyone started drawing from down here in the April low or whatever. Which again, this whole April low, this was all just liquidation. So why are you measuring from that anyway? And just to really drive the point home, guys. This is just a throwback. On Liberation Day, there was, I think, 1.4 billion of long liquidations. Okay, that was not emotion, that was automated selling. So again, I guess long story short is that the biggest mistake that people make in trading crypto is that they look at price action and they assume that all of it is being driven by human emotion. But no, some of it, and especially these kind of around the margins, all these like wicks you see to the top and to the bottom, a lot of these like basically a lot of these deviations are not caused by human emotion. They're caused by automated buying or selling based on liquidations or short squeezes. And especially when we get something like this April, I almost call it April Fools, but this Liberation Day This Liberation Day thing in early April, that is kind of like an exogenous shock that causes an enormous amount of liquidations. And again, yes, people were panicking. Yes, some of this price action was involved a human emotion, but most of it, like most of these moves here, was just leverage and liquidations and everything. And again, some of it doesn't happen immediately. Sometimes it comes later and blah blah blah. But the point being is that most of this move, I would argue, was not related to emotion. This was all driven by leverage. And yes, there was some emotion, but if we think of it, again, just to really drive this point home, you can almost think of it that you have a ratio at all times in the crypto market. You have to ask yourself what percentage of this price action, roughly speaking, is being driven by human emotion versus leverage. And it's pretty obvious to tell, like when you get a very aggressive move to the upside or to the downside, usually that's a result of leverage. It's not usually as a result of human emotion. You'll be able to tell if there's like some big catalyst and something's going on. In that case, you could say that there's let's say a more equal combination of leverage versus human emotion, right? Basically, any extreme price action to the upside or to the downside has a higher concentration of leverage versus emotion, and therefore you should not get too get too obsessed or too crazy about deviations to the upside or deviations to the downside. Like even something like this here in late May on Bitcoin, you could make the argument that this deviation up here that could have been driven by leverage. I don't know. I haven't like gone back and checked that. That could have been leverage. This was almost definitely leverage, like this huge like pump, kind of like little pump and dump here. So that was leverage. That was leverage. And when you start seeing things through that lens, and the same thing here is like this whole thing was leverage. And when you see it through that lens and you're able to kind of smooth out the price action a little bit more, it makes it much easier to get a sense of like where a price is actually heading. All this stuff here in the middle, this was probably mostly human emotion. Deviation to the upside, that was leverage. Deviation to the downside, that was leverage. And therefore, you should not be factoring it that heavily into your analysis, in my opinion. Again, feel free to disagree in the comments, but this is what I think is a huge mistake. And you know, it's a shame that I'm not able to kind of post this a little bit sooner because I'm sure a lot of people would like to see this sooner. But in the future, if I do see another kind of very obvious deviation like that, then I'll be sure to let you guys know as soon as I can here on the trading channel. Anyways, if you did make it that far and you did find that information helpful, then be sure to help us out by checking out the Coin Bureau deals page. In case you couldn't tell, we were using Binance there. You can get a 20% trading fee discount and up to $600 of bonuses using our deal. The link is down in the description and in the comments. All you have to do is click that link. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. Enter your email or phone number. It takes 2 minutes to sign up. If you can't use Binance for whatever reason, then do check out the other deals we have on the Coin Bureau deals page. We have Arkham Exchange, which is available to US residents, and a whole bunch of other exchange deals that are available to users in other jurisdictions who might have trouble accessing Binance for whatever reason. And again, guys, if you already have exchange accounts and everything, then still check out the Coin Bureau deals page. We have deals on wallets. We have the Coin Bureau Club, and we have a whole bunch of like trading bots, trading tools, tax tools, which I guess is a little bit late for that. If you haven't done your taxes yet, you're probably in a little bit of trouble. But anyways, guys, if you did make it this far and you did find that information helpful, then smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.